Hello, 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 and welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Exia, as we get started here for GT Meister Racing. It is a special race as it is the end of our season for season two, as the battles continue here at Zolder for our round 8 battle. The drivers are out in the practice session, but we are going to give a huge shout out to the original drivers of last week that participated in the Enduro on Sunday at Kailami. Here we go is the picture for both of the Audis that participated in race car 981 and 982. If you were not able to see the cars around the track, just to fill you in, the 981 car driven by Little Taquito and Lane Xander. They both were able to bring the car home in P19. And then car number 2 driven by yourself and Stefan Buckley. We were able to bring the car home to 23 after having a few technical issues out on the track. But it is looking to be a good race. We still have 20 minutes left before we jump into qualifying. And we're going to look at the league standing so far of this championship battle. And there you see Lane Xander, our reigning GTMR champion of season 1 with 107 points in the Mercedes. Aiden Hasbrock at 103. Jashke was 74. Definitely need to see if Lane Xander can pull something out and make something happen. But we are definitely going to be hosting a few pre-race interviews for the drivers here. And we're going to be bringing in Little Taquito, or a.k.a. Aiden Hasbrock, into the booth with us to talk with us. So we're just going to slide him down here real quick and have a little discussion with him and everything. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Aiden Hasbrock into the booth. Sorry for scaring you and using the power of the Discord to slide you guys between rooms to have a discussion and everything else like that. Mr. Aiden, we know you're in the practice session. We're watching you go around the track. We know you're having this massive battle with Lane Xander towards the middle of the end of this season. So far, talk us through the whole entire season. I apologize for catching you off guard.
Kind of disappointing that Xander won't be here tonight. But it is what it is. I'll be starting from the back just because I want to make myself feel a little bit better than what it would be, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's kind of a shame, but overall, it's been a good year. I think I missed Bolton Park. I just crashed out. I was leading with like 3 minutes to go, but missed Kailami, and other than that, I think the year's been pretty good.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. So far, how are you liking how the league is growing? For those that don't know, this following next season that we will be going into, we will be joining up with SimGrid, so you'll be able to check us out on SimGrid as well to sign up for the league.
I think it's really good, honestly, because what was it, last year, I believe, and I think this is the 3rd year of GTMR. I'm not exactly sure, 2nd or 3rd. I remember when there was like, 5, 6 drivers there, and even earlier before that, in the BRL days, that we had about the same. So crazy how much the league's grown since, I guess probably the past year or so. So I mean, it's good.
Yes, it is definitely crazy with how the league has grown and everything has developed and changed. And we definitely want to give you a huge shout out on your performance here at Zolder. And the question is whether or not you'll be able to get the 4 points to close in the gap and beat Lane Xander out in the overall championship, due to the fact that this track is very super tight and hard to pass. You almost really have to send the car every time you are going around the track and things like that. We see a lot of the drivers, they are out and about to get the interviews. I'm going to send you back with the group. If you can let Cole Bennett know to dive back into the pits if he can. I'm going to try to bring him into the booth to have a talk with him as soon as he can get into the pits. And you have a wonderful time practicing, um, Aiden, and I wish you the best of luck, sir.
You.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's P2 driver. We see now Cole Bennett. He's diving into the pits. So we're going to quickly drop him down here into the booth here for a split second to have a discussion with him. So let's have a talk with this driver. Well, Mr. Cole Bennett, we managed to catch you coming into the pits. I know you're a little bit surprised being moved around Discords really fast and super quick, and I apologize by that for you. Definitely a huge shout out to you as a new driver coming into this league. I just wanted to know, how are your shakedown practice laps going here at Zolder?
Not going too bad. I got on this track for the first time, I think, early last week. I've only run less than 50 laps on this track, but I'm down to, I think, 131, so I'm just trying to figure out a setup from a friend of mine and get used to the feeling and the flow of the track. But overall, I'm feeling pretty confident that I can keep my high grid in this race.
Well, that's definitely something interesting, and like I was talking with Aiden prior before having you join me in the booth here, this track is definitely one of those tracks where it's super hard to pass, and you really have to be dialed 24/7, or I mean 100% on this lap, because you are pretty much, there is almost no time to actually breathe, even on the straightaways. By the time you blink and it's bam, back onto the track. Now you're sitting so far in the championship fight. You may be sitting 22nd that the viewers can see. You're 1 point behind Alan Zhu in that Porsche, 2 behind James Parks in that McLaren. You know, and you're still, let's see, 3 points behind Peter David, 4 behind Jeff Fleischman. So you could possibly, if you string up a good result here at Zolder, you could actually move up a decent spot into that top 20. I mean, so far, what are you feeling on your pace and performance?
Well, like I haven't really compared to anyone else. The fastest time I see right now is a 129, and I'm at a 131. So I'm feeling really good about my pace, and usually I can get faster as the race goes on because I get into the flow and the feel. And one thing I've learned is it's not about speed, it's about consistency and survivability. So I'm planning on just getting the points down, getting into a groove, and I really want to get onto that top 20 board for my first season of GT Meisters. It would be a really great accomplishment and, you know, a testament to where I'm at as a driver. So just stay consistent and stay on my line and kind of outlast everyone else is my goal tonight, and hopefully finish in the top 10 and yeah, solidify my spot up in the top 20.
And that's amazing to hear, and just a huge shout out. We're just happy to have you here in the league. For those that are possibly watching and wanting to join in the league, what are some of the things you'd like to say to them to help sway their way into the league?
Well, I'd like to say that it's a really, really well-organized league. There's lots of channels. There's lots of different things. If you like to share your screenshots and your setups and that kind of stuff, we've got a great media gallery and a really interactive community. And if you're just new and wanting to get into league racing, we've got a really diverse field. We've got Hasselbrock and some of the other guys, Hopkins way up at the front, who are flying. But you know, you've got guys like me who this is my first year in ACC, and guys like Murphy, and you know, we can have an amazing race midfield. So no matter where you are, GT Meisters does a really good job of supporting every part of the field, and even in their stream, I find they do a fantastic job of their stream. And I've been featured very many times, and I'm down in 13th. You know, so if you're having a good race, you know, they'll include you. It's not just about the top guys, and they really include everyone, and I appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much for giving a shout out to the stream group here. Myself and mostly myself that's just doing the stream through all together. But we try to showcase every driver in the league, only because of the fact that it's not one person that builds the league, it's the community that builds the league here at GT Meister Racing. And definitely thank you for the kind words with the league. We try to set up a very good, friendly, but a very competitive league, to where my ultimate goal here, for a lot of the people that are wondering as we reach the season finale, is I don't feel like there's really any slow drivers. It's just drivers that haven't reached their full true potential. And by doing that, I would rather have a smaller grid of 25 to 30 drivers at all times, but those drivers are pushing themselves to become better, to where we can bring in the grid and make and eliminate the spread of the drivers here on the track. And definitely a huge shout out to you as well, being a newer driver here in the league. We'll actually slot you right back up with that group of people, and we will definitely be getting going here. And we'll pretty much we have about 10 minutes left of the free practice session, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over the championship standings, so the rest of it before we start actual qualifying. And I just want to say thank you again for participating and being a part of this and everything, Cole. It's truly an honor to have you here, and hopefully we can see you again next season. Hope you have a wonderful race.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, XE. And yeah, I'll definitely be back next year.
Sweet. That's awesome. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. One of our top drivers, one of our back drivers, as we're waiting for everything to go through here. So let's take a look at the league standings here so far in this league, ladies and gentlemen. We were talking about Lane Xander being in P1, Aiden Hasbrock P2, Andrew Jaschke P3. Right now, Jaschke in the free practice session is sitting P4, 9/10 off the pace of Aiden Hasbrock, who is now 6/10 off of P2. So he's definitely looking super racy. Cole Bennett, that we were talking about, sitting 8th right now in this race. So definitely, hopefully he can make a good standing and showcase his performance. Bryan Douglas, another driver that is showcasing a lot of performance here at Zolder and in this league as well. He's made a lot of strides and a lot of performance gains in that McLaren so far, and having him slot himself up to P4 here in this championship battle against Chrysler York is truly amazing. Eric Howell, the other co-founder here at GT Meister Racing, sitting P6 in that Aston Martin. He's going to have a huge battle against Bruce Hopkins sitting there in P7 with Andrew Cooper P8 and Stefan Buckley P9. Buckley probably will not be joining us, but next season he probably will be here in that brand new Evo 2 Audi. So that's going to be an interesting one to see for those that are new and have not raced with GT Meister Racing before. Drivers have last season we did, or this season we did, a single preseason race to allow drivers to find the car that works for them before the start of the season, and then that's the car that they had to race with for the entirety of the season. Let's move down here a little bit for some of the battles. Danny Tyson, P17 with 20 points. He can actually slot himself a little bit further. He's not looking too shabby here in this race. He's sitting P13, but Tim Wilkins and Alan Zhu, Wilkins is sitting 24th with 10 points. Alan Zhu was 16. So a lot of these drivers can move up this grid even more. For a lot of the newer viewers here that do not know much about GT Meister Racing, we do follow the MotoGP rules. We do not actually utilize the standard FIA top 10 place finishing points. So that's definitely going to be an interesting one. But let's follow along board. Let's follow the last 8 minutes of free practice for you guys and see where we're at here in the practice session. Let's see if we can't get another driver in here and talk to them about how they're doing so far with this season. So let's switch over to the free practice as we see the drivers going around here in the free practice session. As you see Aiden Hasbrock up there at the top with that McLaren. He has been just racing super fast, no holding back here. And welcome to the viewers on YouTube. It's definitely an honor to have you guys here watching, and everybody from Twitch. Thank you again. Let's see, we have Eric Howell in the pits, Bryan Douglas, aka Hypersonic. Let's see if we can get Hypersonic in the booth here in the last 8 minutes and actually have a discussion with him. Let's see what I can do here and get him in. Going to watch. Stefan Buckley says going to watch. Says he's done with the BMW. See you next season. We just mentioned that, and we will see you next season as well. Now let's see if we could pull in Sonic here. Let's see. It's truly an honor to have all the viewers and the drivers here showcasing their performance. Next season is definitely going to be looking like an interesting one with how the grid is growing and everything, to say the least. Hopefully we can get Sonic in here to have a discussion with him. Let's see if I can pull him down. Let's see if I can pull him down and have a talk. Doesn't. Nope, he's out on track. So we're going to disregard that one. Let's see who else we can grab here. Let's go with Andrew Cooper. I know he said he wanted to talk. Let's snag him for a split second, talk to him while we have 6 minutes left to play. Hello, 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 Mr. Andrew Cooper. Do you have a second for us in the comms booth?
Yeah.
Mr. Cooper, welcome again. You're one of the newer drivers, just like Cole Bennett, that's racing right now in that Audi that's looking like a strong performance in P9. You're sitting P7 at Zolder in the season finale. Overall, how are you feeling for this race in this season finale?
Well, I feel okay. I know the Mac is not a very, very strong car around here because curbs and whatnot, but I don't know. Honestly, just like any race, kind of depends on who you're around and if somebody wants to send it. Luckily, we haven't had a whole lot of that this season at all. So, I mean, I feel that I'll probably be around the top 10 and hopefully I could gain a few places and maybe end up in the top 5.
Well, you're definitely looking super strong. I mean, overall, let's just switch back over on the leaderboard standing points. We've mentioned you multiple times that you're sitting P8, that you have a chance of moving up a lot of positions, and especially with the way GTMR does the championship point standings, being MotoGP and being in the top 15. You are definitely going to be looking super strong to gain based on where you're sitting at right now. In the standings, but of course 16 minutes, anything can happen, and we've seen a lot happen in 16 minutes in other prior races for the things. But please let us know, we'd like to know for the viewers, what was it for your first experience for the first year here at GTMR racing the first season? What's your overall feel for it?
I definitely like the league. Definitely a great group of guys. It's I like the fact that it's a well put together league, and most of the guys that we race with during the weekend, we race with during the week through various kinds of stuff. But I mean, so far I enjoy it. I do like the point system and multiple other things, but I mean, I definitely will be coming back next season for sure.
Well, that is awesome to hear that you'll be coming back next season. We're super happy to have you here, and we're also super grateful for the people that you have been able to bring with you and have them as part of the GT Meister family here for this season, especially bringing Cole Bennett, Jamie Morrison, AJ Murphy, things like that for that grid, especially for your Discord as well. Sim Lounge, we're going to have a huge shout out to Sim Lounge as well, due to the fact that they also are a huge pinnacle part of, I believe, GT Meister Racing. They are a completely laid back, non super competitive sim racing lounge to allow drivers just to race but relax without having to worry about the competitive side of sim racing, because at the end of the day, all of us need to be able to relax and take some time off without having to worry about the numbers and the times that we do while we're going around the track. And I would just like to say a huge shout out to you and everything that you do as well, and also being a part of the community here at GT Meister Racing.
Yeah. To touch a little bit on Sim Lounge, just to give a little bit more depth on what it is. So Sim Lounge is a Discord that me and Jamie and Cole kind of put together, and the whole premises of it is pretty much to where every night we kind of get together to where it's just like if you want to go get a good multiplayer race in, but you don't want to go worry about getting crashed off, most of us all know each other and everything. So we have our own server,
Mm-hmm.
and we do a lot of stuff like race roulette and stuff to where we have all the tracks up, and then they have their own number, and everybody picks a number in rotation, and you don't know what you might end up with. We recently just got in a set of Corsa servers, so we've been trying to do other stuff like NASCAR, MX5 series and stuff. It's just something to add variety
Mm-hmm.
to where you're just like, I don't want to go try my luck in a multiplayer and lose my rating or anything. And if we got people that want to learn stuff, it's just a great thing to get everybody together and hang out and race and not have to worry about losing SA. So yeah, definitely looking for more people if they want to join. It's an open lobby, so yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Huge shout out to Sim Lounge and yourself. I'm going to actually slot you right back up into the GT Meister group because you have about 1 minute and 51 seconds left to play before your qualifying session starts, good sir. And I just want to wish you a wonderful night. And remember, you have to pick the right fuel to finish the race.
Yep. All right.
Adios.
Later.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Cooper. Joining with us as we wait it out. We have 1:25 seconds left, and it is still counting before we go into the qualifying session. If anybody of the viewers have anything that they would like to see or have any questions about the league, please reach out to us in the chat and everything else like that. We will get to you as quick as we can and fast as we can to get going as well. Let's get the volume turned back up here on ACC as we get close to the qualifying session. We get going here shortly. This is definitely going to be an interesting one and fast-paced one as well for these teams and the cars. So let's switch over to the live view of what's going on with free practice session. We still have 41 seconds left to play. Let's give a shout out. Let's follow along with some of the drivers here as we were talking about Bruce Hopkins, the driver who was battling it out with Eric Howe. Here we'll just switch over to the broadcast view. I apologize for a little bit of a issue here. Yep, there we go. Sitting P15 in his overall. We'll get out of that HUD view real quick, and we see the Aston Martin of Bruce Hopkins making his way around Zolder here. We're going to ride along board him with the final practice. He has about a second left before the timer clicks out. We'll definitely keep an eye on him as he makes his way around here through the 1-2 complex. 1-2-3, I apologize, complex. This is a really tight corner. You almost have to sling the car in as much as possible when you go around that bend. And as we see him, as he's going to come up to this braking part of this chicane, as he's looking super smooth running all of that curve. You can see that Aston Martin pop up in the air as he approaches and comes up over the hill. What a beautiful run he's making as he comes down the hill into this super fast chicane as well. He's looking super racy in this Aston Martin, so definitely good to see him still racing in that Ukrainian livery for that Aston Martin. And as you can see, this track, there is really no areas to give up, like, you know, to take a breath. Depending on what kind of wheel you're running, if you're running a DD wheel, you're probably, especially like the CSL DD, you're probably running around, give or take 8 Newton meters if you're running the full torque. To if you're using a Thrustmaster, you're probably using roughly about 5 to 6 Newton meters of force. So it's definitely an arm workout as we see Bruce Hopkins. He's about to cross the line. Does he improve? He does not, but the qualifying is back. So we're going to quickly switch back into qualifying and ride along board with some of these cars that are coming out as we see Chrysler York. We'll ride along board him in this special livery McLaren that he sent us from the Vodafone team. He's definitely looking super racy here as we get going. See what he can do. We'll ride along board with him as he's making his way around. Let's see, we got Bryan Douglas. We were talking about him. He is tied with points with Chrysler York. The 2 McLaren drivers definitely duking it out. Let's see, we got Alan Zhu. He's coming out as well. He's in that Porsche. Let's Let's see what else we have here. Andrew Jaschke. Congratulations to Andrew Jaschke. He has joined the GT Meister Racing administrative team. He will be joining us to help the league grow and take care of a bit of the rules and regulations. Hello, little Taquito. Welcome into the chat. Aiden Hasbrook, if you didn't know, is also little Taquito. He is in the chat with us. He's probably going to be sitting it out because he knows Lane Zander isn't here to try to race for the championship. So as long as he scores more than 4 points, he is solid. With that McLaren, as we see Andrew Jaschke making his way. But Chrysler York is going to be getting close to the end of the final chicane here, as we will ride along board him as he's about to cross the main straight. We will see a lap of him as he goes around the track. So let's keep an eye and see what he can do. Well, that was definitely not what we wanted to see out of the McLaren driver. Completely losing it there a little bit and not being able to get that back in. What a shame there that we've seen him. But Eric Howell is still on a lap as he is going out. He actually is not former, I apologize. He also founder of GT Meister Racing as he's going through turn 1. He is still working on a lap, so we're going to drop back down. Bryan Douglas, let's see what he can do as he's coming through the final chicane in the McLaren. He's going to have number 16 followed right behind Andrew Jaschke. Let's see what Bryan Douglas can do as he crosses the line provisionally with a 130.2. Andrew Jaschke drops it to a 129.5 in that BMW. Who else do we have? 513. James Parks. Huge shout out to James Parks. He's definitely racing the best that he can right now, as he's just got a CSL DD, ladies and gentlemen. So he's definitely learning the new art of racing with a DD wheel. Let's see how much more he improves as he crosses the line. He's going to sit himself into P3 as we follow the drivers. Number 60, that's going to be Bruce Hopkins in that Aston Martin that we were talking about originally. Oh, here he is. As he comes through, we're going to see what he can do as he comes down into the final chicane, braking at that 100-meter board, hooking around the corners, trying not to use up too much of that curve, running out super wide. And across the line, let's see what he can do. Can he catch Jaschke in that P? Slots himself up to P3, 2.355 back. And that's going to give him a time of a 139.927. And 24, Eric Howell's across the line, and that puts him right behind Bruce Hopkins. 2.89 back, about 0.5 off the pace. Howell did a 132.462 in the Aston Martin as well. Chrysler York's back out. Definitely have to keep an eye on him. 603 Tim Wilkins. He crossed the line. He's sitting P5, 3.2 back. 188. Where is 188? Alan Zhu in the Porsche coming in down into the final chicane. What can he do? His last lap was 133.2. What does he do when he crosses the line? He's looking super racy. He is 2.6 back. He managed to pull out a 132.185 in that Porsche. Car number 9, as we see Andrew A.J. Murphy, he slotted himself into the number 22 of that Porsche, so that's definitely looking good. Douglas managed to get about 6 tenths back from Andrew Jassy. Andrew Cooper slotting into P3. We were talking about him needing to get that point, needing to get that jump. Little Taquito in the chat. Let's hope I don't crash out. Let's just hope you don't crash out. Eric Howell is up 9 tenths. But let's see who's about to cross the line. Andrew Jaschke is about to cross the line. No, actually. Yep, here goes Eric Howell. 1.1 seconds off. He's about to cross the line with that Aston Martin. He slots himself up to P4. As we see Josh Kimball, he slots himself to 5th. He's about 1.8 seconds up. Let's see where Jamie Morrison is at. The number 1 BMW. Usually that number is reside for Lane Sander, but Lane Sander's not here, so the BMW driver of Jamie Morrison is rocking that number instead. So let's see what Jamie Morrison can do as he's coming through the second chicane. Definitely looking nice and tight right there. Definitely running the curves. Yes, you did run a 129 in practice, Little Taquito. You did run that, but you said you were going to start in the back of the pack so you could make everybody feel safe and comfortable and happy about themselves. As we see Jamie Morrison, he's coming through. He's nice and tight on this track, I have to say. He's definitely looking really racy. Number 29, Andrew Cooper, he's about to cross the line as well. Let's see what Cooper does. Does he improve? He does. He's down to 1.2 off the pace of Bryan Douglas. Jamie Morrison, he's about to cross the line. Let's see what he can do. Jamie Morrison looks like he had validated his lap. We're going to ride along Cole Bennett.